Some of the fastest growing e-commerce brands out there are the ones that are creating new mechanisms for solving different problems in a lot of people's lives. And in today's video, we're going to be diving into a particular trend that's estimated to be worth $3.1 billion dollars. And it's a trend that's a new mechanism for helping you have better health. That's the simplest way to put it. And it's the colostrum trend. Now, I have a lot of data pulled up here, a lot of things that I want to go through. And one of the best brands in this category does over $120 million a year. And they sell a supplement in this category. They are basically synonymous with the colostrum trend, which is super interesting. So we're going to dissect it very deeply to understand exactly how they're doing it, how they're positioning themselves, so that you can do the same for your brand or for any idea that you may have. We're going to use data here. We're not going to use our opinions necessarily. I am going to yap a little bit and talk about some of my opinions, but I want to show you the data now. Interestingly enough, this brand Armra, that's the name of the brand. You may know it if you're an e-commerce entrepreneur out there or you do a lot of research like myself. They sell these supplements, right? It's a colostrum powder that you put in your drinks, and it's $119. So this is actually one of the main reasons I wanted to explore this brand. Is I am very fascinated by these brands that can sell supplement products for over $100. A lot of these people are literally subscribing to this, right? So you can subscribe to this and pay over $100 a month to receive this. Now, there's a lot of really interesting things about this, and I've actually been seeing some other smaller brands that are actually looking really, really good in the space too. But of course, the best thing you can do is most likely just get inspiration from the people that are doing it the best, right? So as you see, these are their product pages. It's actually very simple. They have beautiful swatches. I really love these swatches, and they have different sizes that you can buy actually, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty smart. They most likely took that from the protein companies out there, because for protein, you can buy a lot of protein. But yeah, it's $300. So isn't that crazy, right? This is a powder supplement, and it's $300 for this XL jar. Super cool. Now, the default option is a subscription. So when you land here, you are automatically defaulted to subscribe, which a lot of people call black hat these days. Black hat MRR. This is not black hat MRR, guys. This is obviously legal, or otherwise they would not be doing it. This is a huge, huge company. Now, are there ethical concerns? That's up to you to decide, right? That's, your own personal views. But this brand is doing it, and it's working extremely well. Now, besides their buy box, right, which is the most important thing, it's the most important thing in your whole store. It's just your buy box. This is called above the fold. So anything above the add to cart button is the most important. And the reason why is because this is how a lot of people shop. They just look at the top of your page, and that's about it. So this is actually a very interesting layout that they have going on. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it, to be honest with you. But again, that's just my opinion. They're obviously crushing it. This padding is also kind of goofy looking to me. But this is Armra's landing page, right? Now, their landing page is actually really beautiful. I don't want to view it in mobile just because it just doesn't look as good to me right now. I'm not on mobile. But this is what they do really, really well that I think is the first thing that we can highlight. And by the way, I do have the data pulled up here on the size of the market. 3.1 billion in 2024, estimated to basically double to almost 7 billion by 2034, which I totally believe. I actually think it could be even bigger. But this is what they do extremely well. They go very deep into the science of it, into the efficacy. Like, it's a lot of numbers. And personally, I think that's a really strong approach when you're selling supplements, because everybody's selling supplements. There are an insane amount of people out there selling supplements. And every day I feel like there's more people selling supplements. So how can you stand out? Well, you can stand out by simply being the best choice, right? Having the most data to back up your product or to back up the ingredients behind your product, right? If you're a new brand. So they do that a lot, as you see. And they also keep it very simple. They have a very good mix, right, of keeping it very simple here. So benefits you can see and feel. This is everything you're going to get, right? Strengthen immunity, fortify gut health, ignite metabolism, enhance skin radiance. I mean, this thing kind of does it all. But then over here, they get very deep into the science behind it, even with these animations. I really like these animations because even if you don't read any of this, which I haven't done, I can kind of understand that this is a very proven scientific product, right? And again, I'm just giving you the perspective of a customer. I'm not, pretending to be a scientist here or understand the whole science behind this, but that's the point. When you give people the science behind it like this, when you educate them, 90% of people are not even going to read this, but it does give them trust. It makes them feel like this actually will work for them because there's a lot of science behind them. And it's probably true as well. That's probably the reason why they're growing so fast, is that a lot of people do see a lot of benefits from it. And here's more examples of this, right? Like they're talking about all the bioactives in their product. So click to reveal the bioactives that they have in their product. This is crazy. This is so many different, I don't even know, I guess, cells. So these are all these stem cells in it that activate. These are all the mitochondrial regenerators, adaptogenic compounds. This is so cool. So again, this is one really good way that you could differentiate your supplement brand, is having a simple FAQ section like this, right? With all the different ingredients. You don't have to have an animation like this. Of course, this is super cool, but you don't have to do that. You could just keep it very simple. Before and afters, very classic, super trustworthy, high converting, and then reviews. So it's actually not a complicated landing page structure, which I love. But it is very intentional and has some really subtle details that I think are really worth noting. So make sure that you do note those down. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the traffic that they're getting. They are getting a lot of traffic on their site. And as you see, it's primarily from the US. They do run a lot of ads on Meta. And Meta is one of the best places to run ads. They have one of the strongest machine learning algorithms for ads. So it's really smart to be on there, even if it's not your main place where you're driving traffic and revenue. It's just smart to do. I mean, they have the most users. They have like 3 billion users across their entire platform with WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook, and now Threads as well, which is a placement. Not a lot of people use Threads, but some people do. A decent amount of people do. So it's worth thinking about. But they're driving a lot of traffic, and it's actually starting to go even crazier now in the summer. I believe this will probably go even crazier during Q4. So they're in a really good position to continue scaling. Now, this is another really interesting thing that I noticed. The Armra colostrum search trend, right? Like this is a great trend. I mean, this is a very good business in terms of its growth trajectory. It's consistently growing every single year based on the search trend. However, most people are looking up Armra colostrum as opposed to Armra, which is just such an interesting thing to me. They are just so well known for their colostrum that that's what people associate them with right away. It's a very subtle thing, but it's something that I thought was worth noting. And also, they are getting more search volume than the majority of the things that people look up regarding colostrum, right? I mean, colostrum supplements, you can see these are going really crazy. Of course, the search trend for colostrum is really, really big worldwide. And there's a lot of very interesting search trends that you can kind of take a look at as well. People are looking up best colostrum supplements. And these are actually a really good tip that you can use is you can take some of these, right? So for example, best colostrum supplement, it's not a ton of people that are looking this up every month, but if you have a listicle, right, an advertorial that talks about the best colostrum supplement and it's yours, right, from the perspective of, let's say, a 55-year-old, I don't know, like science teacher, then that could convert very well. So that's a little interesting tip that you can have. And by the way, this platform is called ShoppyLab. So it's a software platform that we built, and it also has an accelerator community behind it. And that's where we consult with you. We just have a really cool community. Actually, just real quick, I want to show you, we've been getting some really, really cool people in the community making new records. So people reaching their first 1K day, people reaching their first 30K day, and people even reaching their first 100K days, which is super impressive. And I just love to see it. We have a weekly call in here. It's super fun. And yeah, it's an accelerator for a reason, right? You join and you get all the things that you need to grow your business. But what I love about it is this data. I mean, it's just so fascinating to me. Now, there are other competitors. So Miracle Moo here, if this was a other colostrum brand before, and they completely fell off the face of the earth. I don't know what happened, but we actually used to work with them at one of my companies at Ecommerce. It's a agency for Meta ads, TikTok ads, and Google ads, and we consult too. Um, and they were crushing it like crazy. I mean, you can see their search volume was literally ridiculous. This is crazy. I don't know what happened, but they're no longer a competitor, it seems. Now, here's another really interesting one. I'm going to dive into their ads here very shortly because I actually want to get very deep into this. Like I mentioned, I want to see the positioning. I want to see some of the words that they're using and things like that. But here's a really interesting one that I posted actually on X. So I posted this, I don't know. I've been gone on a trip to San Francisco for the past week with my baby, and she caught a fever literally the first day that we got there. So it completely ate up all of my time. I haven't had time to do anything besides just take care of her, which was great. But I posted this a few days ago, like a week ago, and it's the colostrum collector trend. I think this one is so interesting because this is like incredibly consistent, right? It's just growing month over month pretty much. And it's one of those things where you can capitalize on this trend where if you're in the mom niche, right, or in the baby niche. I think this is a really good trend overall for the baby niche. These guys obviously are not targeting moms or babies, right? So I think that is a good way to position your brand. And you can have multiple things. You can have colostrum supplements, and you can have colostrum collectors or tools that kind of help moms harvest their own colostrum. Harvest is not the right word for that, but it makes sense to me. And yeah, colostrum powder is another term that people are very much into. It's sort of exploding. It's definitely seeing a lot of growth. But I find it so interesting how more people are actually looking up Armra colostrum than anything else. So these guys are totally dominating this niche. And that's not to say that they're the only ones. I mean, there's easy ways to compete, right? I mean, this is a $109 supplement, so you could compete on price. You could compete on just having a different avatar, right? A more specific avatar. And, let's see, colostrum powder supplier. Oh, I typed that terribly, but there are a lot of suppliers for this kind of stuff, believe it or not. So people always ask me, how would you start a brand like this? Well, it starts by finding a supplier, of course. Finding a supplier is the first step that you need to do for this. But from there, I mean, you can just test. You can test with a variety of different ways, either through TikTok organic, which just means posting content organically on TikTok and trying to get sales that way. You can do meta ads. You can launch statics like some of the ones that we're about to look at. So let's take a look at some of these. So meet the next gen bioactive whole food for health revival. Wow. These guys remind me a lot of Seed, which is another company that we've studied. We actually made a video on them. I love this brand. I love their whole branding and everything. It's actually quite a similar premise, right? They're going very heavy into the science to the point where they consider themselves a biotech company. And I think that's really interesting positioning at a company level. I think it would make it very appealing for private equity or for other companies, maybe even medical companies, right? Biotech companies that are much bigger to acquire a brand like that. But they have a similar approach. So this ad says fact. So first of all, it says fact at the very top. Very small detail. Oh God, I gotta move myself here. Okay, fact: 4 daily scoops of Armra colostrum. Oh, and they actually trademarked the name Armra colostrum. Unlocks strengthened immunity, combated bloating, enhanced skin, vitalized hair, and thousands more whole body benefits. Wow, thousands more? That's a bold claim. That's pretty crazy. And then they have a very long ad copy here that's sort of similar. So meet the next gen bioactive whole food for health revival, more than just a raw ingredient. Patent pending Armra colostrum is a natural and exclusive source of over 400 plus functional bioactive ingredients. So yeah, these are all great things that you should mention for your brand, right? If you have these huge, like kind of shocking facts about your product, you got to mention them, but you can package it a little bit differently. You can mention, again, if, for example, you're going after moms, you could talk about like stressed out moms or something like that, right? that actually could be a big problem out there. Is some moms can't breastfeed, let's say, like, so that's a smaller niche, but definitely a big pain point for moms. Is you can mention, hey, are you having trouble breastfeeding? Well, you can actually supplement colostrum in your baby's milk, right? Again, you got to do all your own research on that, but that's a decent idea. So it's trusted, safe, so supported by over 5,000 research publications. I'm guessing for that, they actually are just referencing PubMed, probably not their own independent studies, but I'm guessing they're talking about colostrum because, yeah, there's a lot of studies. And look at this, actually, there's more and more studies that are happening for colostrum, which is super cool. And that's probably what they're referencing. Very interesting. And this is actually a public, so this is PubMed, if you don't know. I guess it's the National Library of Medicine. So there's a ton of free articles here that you can look at that are like actual authority figures, actual studies out there that people are conducting. So you can reference these in your website. I don't know, people don't do that enough. I think they should, especially in these niches, because it is a big way to earn authority. It could be distracting for some people, but for example, in your store, you could have a tab that says studies, right? Like ingredient studies. That would be super cool. So that's one of their ads. It's really good. It's a static ad. You could definitely make something like that. Let's see this one. How to Armra, 4 scoops a day to strengthen your body's barriers for thousands of benefits. So they love to emphasize that thousands of benefits. And I understand why. It just really kind of like intrigues you, like 1,000 benefits. Oh, here's another thing. They are running ads, a lot of ads to this Advertorial. So probably should have mentioned this sooner, but this is one of the biggest hacks right now in e-commerce. And it's kind of a funny thing because it's nothing new. I mean, Advertorial pages have been around since the dawn of the internet pretty much. And a lot of people think that adding this sort of step where people have to educate themselves a little bit more on the benefits of the product increases friction, which it does, but it also increases conversion rate, right? It gets people way more committed to their buying decision. And therefore, with a brand like this, it's extremely powerful because that's how you're going to get more people to take subscriptions, right? To buy a subscription for the product because they're going to be a lot more committed to the product. So 5 benefits of Armra that have everyone ditching their supplement routine. 1, Armra colostrum is liquid gold for your body. And again, if you have a brand in this category, you can literally just plug and play your brand name, your branding as well, and your own images to this exact, obviously use your own images and stuff, but this exact template and do very well. You can use gem pages for this. Gem pages is really, really affordable. There's other options like Replo, but gem pages is really good and it works very well. So I like this. They have just very simple 5 reasons why, 5 benefits. Those are some very low friction advertorials that you can test. And then they have all their products on here. And then, of course, a ton of reviews. That's where they're driving a lot of their traffic to. Let's go look a little bit further down and let's actually study some of these. So let's see. Oh, founder story. So they are testing a lot of different advertorials here, which is really cool. And this is another thing that you got to know. These are very good ecom tips, and hopefully you're liking this content. I'm trying to just save you a ton of time and potentially entertain you by breaking down these things. I know you got to be kind of a nerd to be entertained by this, but hey, who cares, right? If you're entertained by it, more power to you. I am. So Sarah Rahal, MD, she's the founder of this, and she's running ads through one of her profiles here. So it's a founder ad, right? So if we take a look, we see it's the secret to unlocking your inner. I'm going to mute this because I don't want to get copyright claimed. Okay. We look for these permission slips to give our body, but the reality power lies within us the whole time. I'm Dr. Sarah Rahal, the founder and CEO of Armra. Wow, that's really cool that she founded this. This is a super, super good script. It's very simple, very native looking, and you can actually, by the way, if you don't know this, you can download these videos and then you can use 11 Labs to upload, to get a transcription from the video. Um, and then you can create your own script, you can adapt it to your own brand, and then even have a voiceover with 11 Labs, which is pretty cool. Yeah, AI is making e-commerce just so much better. That's why I love this space right now. I mean, I'm building a lot of different things, you guys may know, but I'm just very excited about e-commerce in this AI revolution, because it's only being helped by the AI revolution, right? If you are an e-commerce entrepreneur, you have so many more tools now that allow you to run your team very lean. So, if you were at 10% margins before, now you can use AI and get your margins up so much higher to maybe 20%, which could completely revolutionize your business and allow you to scale even bigger. So that's one of the reasons why we built this accelerator, is because we want to give people all the tools and data they need, not just opinions, right? To build an incredible business that we can then invest in. That's my goal. I like to invest in companies. I've done it successfully for e-commerce brands before, at the ground level, and I want to continue to do that. It's a really fun thing. But this is another platform that they're running too. So the founder's story, ready to perform, glow, and thrive like never before. That's why I created Armra. So this is another really big trend I'm seeing, is everybody's talking about their brand now, and every big brand is actually encouraging their founder to get in on top of get on camera and start just making content, which is pretty interesting. It's a very interesting trend. I think people just want to buy from people want to get behind a cause. They love to follow people. Like, people actually like to follow a leader, right? So if Sarah here is a leader in helping you unlock better health through this product, people are really going to resonate with that. And yeah, this is an interesting page. So here are 11 reasons why I created Armra. So they really like this format of 11 reasons why, 5 reasons why. I also like those formats because they're easy to follow. So definitely keep that in mind. Let me see one more here. This is getting a little bit long, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, but let me see. So another 5 benefits of Armra. They have, so they love these landing pages. They're doing very well for them. But we're going to go very deep down here just to see what they were doing even before, right? So these are from earlier in the year. So I just want to see. Armra is freeing people from bloating for good and keeps selling out. They're doing so many of these headlines. It's actually so interesting. A lot of advertorials. And again, you can use gem pages for that, Repl for that. Very easy solutions that you can do that are very affordable. There's, of course, a lot of other solutions as well. But yeah, they love this format of just reasons why, just these numbered reasons. And it's for a reason, right? They're just easy to follow, easy to read. And then they have a little bit of the product page here. Super cool stuff. And again, if you want to join our community, you want to join us, it's super fun. I honestly just love our Shopee Lab community. It's so fun. It's so cool. I love doing all this research with you guys and helping the members in there, giving them literally just custom tailored advice. It's really fun for me. I think, we can all grow incredible businesses through this. So make sure you join. You can join with the link in the description if you are interested in it. You can also join just the software side of it if that's all you want. If you want access to all this research and data, you can do that as well at shopeelab.ai. But ultimately, I think there's a lot to learn from this brand. Number one, advertorials. Their advertorial templates are really, really good. Their positioning is really good of, this holistic health with a ton of data and science behind it. And also, I will say their design language is a huge factor, in my opinion, for their success too. They have a really cool design language that just stands out, and it just makes you want to buy it. I think people do appreciate good design, believe it or not. I mean, it's kind of an actual obvious thing, but they have a really clear design language that makes them stand out. And it's the same thing with Seed. And then, of course, they have this language, right, where they keep things simple while at the same time providing a ton of science to explain their product. And it makes it trustworthy. It makes you believe everything they tell you pretty much. And I do believe that it's true. So that's great. Also, another thing you can take away from the video, the colostrum collector trend is really popping off. So you don't have to sell supplements in this space. Colostrum is a much bigger space than just supplements. So definitely keep that in mind. You can get creative with that. You can use it in your positioning if you have a baby brand or a mom brand, something like that. Or again, a baby app, a baby software. Like I will say, ShopuLab is an e-commerce business, like for Shopify entrepreneurs primarily. However, the vision is to be much more than that. You know, I want to expand into people that are building apps as well. If you're building apps out there, if you're building software, you can take advantage of all of these things and potentially build even bigger businesses because there's less friction, right? You don't have to ship products, which can be a little bit of a headache in the e-commerce space, but that's also what makes it less, likely to be completely taken over by AI. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Incredible business, incredible brand. Super happy to have broken this down in an incredible market that's only growing pretty much exponentially. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, whatever you want to do, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.